Alright, welcome back, YouTube, to A Programmer Plays Auridia. In our previous episode, we managed to get into the Academy once I realized that I could grab onto the little bits here. We also did poke around a little bit more in the Stone Warren, but didn't have much luck. So, we've gotten a couple of rights related to Sophia's prison here, which I'm pretty interested in, but before we dive into that, I do think I want to go back to our friend Snorri and see if he's got anything to say about all this, because, you know, shit's wild. If I'm not mistaken, is that my rope in the distance? I believe it is. You must have lowered it. I used one just like it when I first found this cavern, but I left the rest of my gear at the top of a cliff, and then some rope came loose, and then the rope came loose, and, well, here we are. Alright. Let's see if we've got enough to do the Scholar's thing. Scholar's dissertation, pretty much certain. Astronomer's mantle feels pretty likely. Pickled specimen feels likely. Stonecutter's tools is a good start. I don't see how one of these help, though. Why don't you swap it out and I'll have another look? Alright. Scholar's dissertation pretty much has to be. This one specifically says it was awarded to scholars. An unconventional scholar. This one doesn't actually say scholar, so let's take that out. This doesn't mention scholars. This doesn't mention scholars, nor does this one. Serfs. Let's see if we can figure out serfs. This mentions miners. This mentions serfs. Not really. Or how Auridia was invaded. This maybe. This maybe. I'm not really feeling any of those. Yeah, I think we're a little shy on stuff that we can do with that, which means, oh, I forgot about this guy being down here. Hold on. Excuse me, don't mind me. I'm just gonna come over here to destroy a creature. Oh, and that restores him. Interesting. I need to not, oh, that's not the way to do it. This is definitely the way to do it. Destroy every mindless guardian. Alright. Go team? Question mark? I'll be honest, I don't feel great about that. Alright. Let's do Rite of Travel. We'll go back to Sophia's prison And now we get the choice, right? Which way do we go? We can either coerce or release. I mean, I feel like let's do release. Your hand thrums with energy as you trace the indicated symbols onto the stone. As you finish, you hear a crack and smell ozone. A cephalopod stands before you. It does not speak, but you continue to hear its voice in your head. So, Thelis will not even deign to free me himself. No matter, I will deal with him after I negotiate with our invaders. But first, accept this as a token of my thanks. Extend your hand. The cephalopod extends a tentacle and wraps it around your wrist. You feel an intense heat. When the tentacle is retracted, an image lingers in your mind, a tunnel built in secret, and a scar glows where you are gripped. You have acquired Sophia's map. You have acquired flight. Sophia's map, a marker has been added to your map. Memory of an altar, shared by the last Auridian. The serfs knew of a hidden passage beneath Stonewart, but most dared not follow against it. Those who did were not seen again, or more accurately, they were not recognized. Flight. Hold A while airborne to aim, and release to fly. You will consume stamina as you travel. The cognivore can grant many wishes. To persuade Sophia, who saw no difference between freedom and kindness, it offered the power to fly. Interesting. You wanna... Oh. A to change mid-flight. Alright. Bathhouse token, a gem inscribed with a sigil exchanged for time in the smoke bath. Some scholars slept there for years, searching for gates to new dreams. Those who discovered one returned as astronomers. Those who didn't were discarded. Right, well, that works. What is this? The residue. It's everywhere. What of the invaders? Is this what remains of them? Interesting. I don't know. No, of course you do not. Only a fool would think to a mind as yours for answer. Say nothing. Let truth echo. We are alone. We are accompanied by blind men. We are watched by 4 gods and countless more, although I expected 7. You led a tremendous host of wayward souls, and you do not know where you lead them. Presence is awakened, one that always listens, one that hears every communion and seeks out every mind. I really like the phrasing of this. Watched by 4 gods and countless more, though I expected 7. You lead a tremendous host of wayward souls, yet you know not where you lead them. A presence has awakened, one that always listens, one that hears every communion and seeks out every mind. You are here, you are solid, you are a figment so complex I cannot anticipate your thoughts. I have thanked you for releasing me. I have given you the knowledge I possess. What else do you want? Knowledge, and I've given it to you. The mark on your wrist carries the force of a god, and the location I showed you leads to where that god was found. What more could you want? Ask. And we know who she is, but I don't know how we know who she is. Who are you? Sophia. I'm Sophia. Why reach sealed away? Many reasons. I misplaced trust. I reached too far. I threatened power. I learned the secrets of communion, secrets that they meant to keep within these walls. Found a new deity, one that had not already been paid and domesticated, one that offered knowledge to those who served it. All it asked in return were students to teach. It found students, but they could not withstand its truth, and so they changed to something that could. Their new shapes frightened the others. Where there were now enlightened serfs, some saw only invaders. Fear creates strange alliances, and so it was that I was discovered. Thale has captured me as I slept and sealed me in a realm of his own making, and that is the last I knew of him. How long have you been in that stone? I do not know. There's no light in that realm. There's no matter. There's nothing to track the time, and for a while I counted, but I forgot what place I counted at. What was it like? Monotonous, uniform, stagnant. I replayed conversations. I replayed every conversation I could remember having countless time until I found my whole life to be unbearably dull. Then I invented characters, events, reactions. I imagined characters who pretended to be other characters, characters with motivations that were alien and bizarre, so that I could surprise myself as I discovered what they would say. In a sense, I became the god of that realm. I could imagine anything I liked. I was omnipotent, of course. It was my own mind, but I was omniscient as well. I could not be surprised. And I learned that nothing is as deadening as having nothing left to learn. I used to wonder why a deity would deign to speak to us lowly creatures, whose prayers must seem so primeval and wretched. What use is an offering from our realm when they can conjure whatever they like in theirs? I think I know. It's because they are uninformed guests in this realm. In communion, they can experience something that they do not already know. I've wandered far afield of your question. I am too used to talking only with myself. Is there anything else you would like to know? There is a historian who would like to meet you. I know of who you think, a simple man lost in a complex world. He knows nothing that interests me, and I have no obligation to him. Let him crawl about. I promised you rewards if I were released. I presume you are here for them. Promised to restore Auridia. Look around you. What is left to restore? Shuffling decay is all that remains. While I'm imprisoned, I imagine furiously, but never did I imagine this. That after all my supposed crimes, I would exist as the last Auridian. The guest I invited is stronger than I imagined. It listened for communion. It knows what mind stirs here, and it hungers for them. Is there anything we can do about it? I am unsure. Thales connects this realm and gave the divine a voice. Evil as he was, none could see as far or dream as deep as he. Search his chambers at the top of the eastern tower. Perhaps he found a way. I'd like to ask you something else. Step away. Alright. Cool. Loads of information. Oh. Yeah, alright. That tracks. Do I think... The answer is, of course, yes, I do. Okay, so it's based on how long we go. The tentacles do make things a lot more complicated. Archon's Pearl, all that remains of the Astronomer King. Many dreams of distant realms, but few can retain their memories. Thales learned how to record his visions, etching them into this pearl as he slept, and so he laid the foundation for communion in the waking world. Rite of expulsion, a rite to conduct a violent exorcism. Thales understood that the cognivore could not be destroyed, but it could be starved. He devised a plan, but lacked the nerve to carry it out. He targeted himself instead. Offer 4 sundered names at the grand altar to bury Auridia. Interesting. Also interesting that there's not an exit here. Just from a game design perspective, that's quite surprising. good enough. Sort of chickening out. And probably the answer here is that I need to just use the ha. There we go. Oh, the fossil. Alluring fossil. An immense shell towers above you. A hollow whistle emanates from its mouth, although no wind blows. Examine. You step up to the mouth of the shell. Its walls are thick as your forearm, much stronger than anything else we've seen in these caverns. The ancient whistle echoes through the shell's chambers. It becomes louder. It beckons you. Enter the shell. It is easy enough to step inside. The path narrows and curves upwards, but you climb it easily enough. You fall on your hands and knees, crawling through the ever-tightening passage. Eventually, you can crawl no further. You are bathed in a soothing aura of salt and soil. The sound of crashing waves lulls you to sleep and tells you stories. The chamber is old, much older than anything you have ever seen, older than Auridia. The great fossil was retrieved from the caverns below. A sea was there once, a great sea, with fantastic sights. You hear the sea now, you smell it. You hear bellows, the bellows of those primal creatures which ruled the prehistoric sea, and their songs and their dances and their whispers, their thunderous, earth-shattering whispers. You stir from your slumber, you shuffle your way backwards along a cold, smooth path until it widens enough to turn around. As you make your way to the shell's opening, it echoes dim. They don't stop. They never stop. You have acquired ceaseless murmurs. Ceaseless murmurs deepens gnosis, a hollow whistle, a rhythmic drums, the never-ending waves of a distant ocean. The world is thick with layered dreams, and no place is truly quiet. Cool. Oh. Hello. Yes, thank you. Fossil knowledge. Do we think? Okay, I would love if the camera would follow me a little more resolute. That's probably my biggest thing. Aha! So there's a minimum level of gnosis that we need. Vetted sensor. Ooh, incense burner, find all 3 sensors is the achievement we just got. Medit sensor, you may meditate on one more icon. An incense burner choked with decaying mollusks which emit a pungent gas. The mind is a malleable thing, in some sense can expand it. A dangerous proposition since there's no telling what will occupy the newly made space. Behind a stone pulpit, you see a long inscription. Instead of characters, there are only textured bumps and waves. Touch the inscription. Your fingers begin to tingle and words form in your mind. The inscription tells an Egyptian fable. Read the fable. The Creator crosses his domain every day. He has grown frail in his old age. His voice holds supreme power, but his mind is no longer fit to wield it. A woman watches him stumble as he walks. She can see his weakness. He is not as great as he, but she is more cunning. She gathers the spit that falls from his trembling lips and shapes a serpent from it. The serpent bites the feeble god. He struggles to ease the pain, but cannot find the words. He collapses and the world trembles. The woman comes to him with an exchange. She knows the words to heal him, but words alone are not enough. She requires his name. He hesitates, and the world shudders once more. He whispers the name, and in return, she whispers the cure. He stands still, continued to walk, and forevermore the woman guides him. That's fun. Alright. I'm feeling pretty good about this area. There's a tiny little bit over here that we could go do, but I doubt that that's this area. Like, I kind of just doubt that there's anything there. Feels more likely that we should continue on. Curious as to whether, yeah. I was gonna say, I was curious if these areas have gotten shittier with more light. The answer is a definitive yes. That's a pretty interesting take on kind of the Metroidvania base formula. The whole, like, having the world get tougher. You know, it's a mixed bag. I kind of like it and also kind of don't. I like that we're kind of being forced to use our movement abilities more. And I think because this game is so movement and exploration focused and not combat focused, that's kind of the difference here. Whereas if this game was just like, here's some tougher enemies, we bumped up their health, made them more aggressive, I think that would not be as fun. But in this case, it's like, hey, you've got more tools, so we're going to start making you use more tools to get around. I reserve the right to change that opinion as we go. We'll see. An altar covered in a thick black ooze, spreading like mold across the top and back. Black and violet tendrils twist up pillars to either side. As you approach, a numbness creeps through you. The only trace of the deity once resided here are shards of shattered crystal, half covered by sludge. Let's go back to the Agora. I don't really know why I hoofed it all the way here when I could have done that fairly easily from the other side. Snorri the Wanderer says, I'm sure of it now, the violet blight is advancing. It's gotten quite out of hand. I'm not even sure I can leave, but I must keep my chin up. Despair never helped anyone. I have the presence of mind to carry some untranslated writing up here, so at least I won't be bored. How can we get out? I believe you have found a way. The rope you lowered is near the entrance I used. Just above is a lava chute. It's a long climb, but eventually that tunnel leads to a crater on the surface. I'm afraid I can't accompany you, not yet. I came here to research my book, and I will not leave until it's done. Take this map. It will show you the way. You have received Snorri's map. Snorri's map. A marker's been added to your map. A well-worn map showing the way through a maze of underground tunnels. It could be mistaken for your grandfather's if it wasn't for the impeccable handwriting. The tunnel's end is a small village, tucked between icy mountains of Thule. a fitting place to rest before leaving for the next adventure. Yeah. Alright, so how the heck am I gonna get that? Figured it out. Oh, we were so close. It's kind of funny. Oh, come on. How I'll get like most of the way and then I'll struggle to do something basic. There we go. Venerated stone, an unremarkable rock carved with a primitive symbol. During the fall, Auridians revived all sorts of superstitious practices. In another age, shrines were built from stones like this, but such things are no longer held sacred. Offer at the altar to tranquility. Maybe I will. Kind of want to test out that. For obvious reasons. Cool. Very good. That blight sure do be blight. Alright, we are going to travel to... Where is it? Tranquility. It's literally the first one. Because that's the third rock that we needed, I believe. You kneel and whisper a simple prayer. The spirits you condemned weigh on your conscience and offer 3 stones to make amends. But material alone is not enough. You must pay the price you sought to avoid, the price of vitality. Offer up 3 stamina. Oh, okay. You place the 3 sacred stones onto the altar and rest your hands on top of them. Vitality spills out of you and into the stones. They heat and begin to glow. You place them at the foot of the pillar. In time, they will guide the lost back to this realm. Your consciousness lightens, and an unnamed presence smiles at you. Spirits rise from the altar, looking at you for guidance. You have lost 3 stamina and been absolved of sin. You have gained 15 spirits. Interesting that we gained 15. Very interesting, actually. Well... What's up, bud? You would do well to leave, little one. Something wicked stalks this land. The violet blight is spreading. How can I stop it? Violet blight, an apt descriptor? You cannot stop it, not in a meaningful sense. It is merely a residue, a byproduct. It is left by a parasite that feeds on many hosts, spreads across many realms. It could be delayed, if such a thing mattered. The god could be expelled, and the parasite's influence with it. But it is only a matter of time before another curious mind invites them back. No, I'm afraid it would be a meaningless gesture. True solution would be to seal off this realm entirely. It will do nothing to slow the parasite's growth, but this world, at least, would be safe. How can I expel the gods? They would come back in time, so I do not concern myself with such things. But I know of one who did, the old ruler of this land. He kept to himself in the eastern tower of this academy. Perhaps he found a way. How can I seal this realm? Intriguing. I did not expect that path to be of any interest to you. Such a task can only be undertaken by one whose spirit finds trustworthy. You have been good to them and brought them only to me. That's not entirely true. They will assist you. There is a rite I learned long ago that will irreversibly seal this realm away. For a long time, I believed it to be too severe. Permanence is a rarity in this world and must be carefully considered. But that time has passed. The parasite's knowledge of our world is permanent as well. Sealed away, we could be safe from it. As it was passed on to me, I will pass it on to you. Listen closely and record these words. You have acquired the right of tranquility. Now we face a different challenge. The rite cannot be carried out while the gods are tied to this land. Their connection must be broken. They must be removed from their altars. How to do that I cannot say, for I was not a part of connecting them. But you may find a clue in the stone warren under Theophilus. There was some that sought to subvert the gods. The tools they do so may remain. Alright, upgrade my stamina. Stamina has increased, 20 spirits have been laid to rest. Upgrade my stamina, 30 spirits have been laid to rest. Alright, so we got 2 back. Part because, I don't know how relevant it is to you guys, but the amount of spirits that it cost to upgrade our spirits dropped. So I guess like the math works out essentially. So, the Rite of Tranquility, a rite transcribed from one of the nameless ancients, is a promise of comfort and safety paid for with boundaries. Seeing as nothing is truly limitless, it is not so great a price. Offer 400 names at the Grand Altar and permanently seal this realm. Alright. Cool. How best to get to the stone warren? Probably from the Grand Altar. Travel. Grand Altar. And then go over and... you guys know what I mean. Over and... oh, cool. Look in the background. Got some... the antlered creature. Things are getting weird down in here. I'm for it. that's the bit that we couldn't get through earlier. What do we got here? Rite of Sundering, a right to glimpse the very essence of a god. True names are unstable things and are often inscribed rather than directly known, but for some tasks, such unbridled force may be just the thing. Rend a deity's name from its altar and carry it within you. Jagged stone, ringed with scratch marks and scorched wax. Bits of shell and chitin are pressed into its surface. A layer of violet light coats the top. As you approach, a tingle runs through your fingers and up your arms. There's a presence here, one that is surprisingly familiar, one that listened at the side of every deity you spoke to. Alright, so we could do, potentially, the Rite of Sundering here? Is that what we want? Oh, what are you? Did I miss a goodie? I don't think it's necessary. Or is it? I am very curious about these. I'm not gonna lie. Something going on there, but stop smacking me. Also, I mean, clearly we just have to clear out the blight. Maybe this is a case of clear out the blight and it's, that's not the end. Let's go for it. Rite of Sundering. Gaze in the crystals of the altar and trace your fingers along the stone underneath. Shapes and sounds twisted before you, ones that move in ways that cannot be drawn or spoken, but they can be known. A name forms in your mind, and the stone splits beneath your fingers with a violent crack. It's been released from the altar. It is yours now. Is the name Chima? The name of a now dead dreamer stolen by a parasite. Its new owner is described as a cancer, a devourer, a cognivore. A name is an address, a command, a truth. It can only be known in one place. You have made that place your brain. Use this at the grand altar with 3 more. Alright. Interesting, and it just changed. So 3 of them had already, so she mentioned the 7. 3 of them were already down, and we just took another one down, meaning that there are now 3 left. Misshapen pearl, a calcium deposit formed by a cancerous growth. While it holds none of a typical pearl's beauty, Sophia grew it herself, and that alone gave it meaning. Rumor was a gift of sorts, one of many bestowed by her patrons, a hint at the suggestive power of the cognivore's thoughts. Stone Warren. Do I think that I can do anything else down lower? Maybe. Depends on if anything's changed. I don't really expect change down here, but it's worth checking, I believe. Unfortunately, it seems like we need to come around from a different angle. That's fine. I'll be honest, I kind of expected the whole name thing. I was like, oh, are we gonna have to like give up our abilities and that will turn into like a whole like figure out a route through the area without the abilities that you've got? That would be a fairly surprising design choice, but I've seen games do similar things. What game am I thinking of that did something kind of like that? That's inshitified. Good to know. Oh no. No. I went the wrong way. A fair number of pearls and shit, Snorri. Do you want any of them? I've never noticed before, but have you always had those burns on your hand? It's uncanny. They look just like some Auridian runes I was reading about. What a coincidence. It's nothing to worry about. No, of course not. I didn't mean to imply you were anything less than capable. I found something that will help with your research. The scholars. Scholar dissertation. Awarded to scholars, severed. The astronomer king? No, this one. Some scholars slept there for years. My, what strange studies the Auridians carried out. I have no doubt my colleagues back home will want to follow up on this research. After all, I cannot, in good conscience, continue to call you a mere assistant. What you are is a fellow, an adjunct fellow naturally, but a fellow nonetheless. As it so happens, this fellowship comes with a stipend. Take another charcoal icon. You have received the resilient icon. I would like to celebrate a milestone. I now have enough to tell a complete story. Who the Auridians were, how their civilization thrived, and how it was destroyed. An inspiring story at times, but for the most part, a tragic one. I do believe that this is the arc of all history. The mind is capable of a great many things, but creating things that last, truly last, has eluded everyone I've come across. This story would not have been possible without your contributions. I cannot thank you enough. Of course, that does not mean my research is done. Far from it. I do have enough to publish a book if push came to shove. If you find more artifacts, please bring them by. Is there anything else you'd like to know? I'm surprised that the serfs have eluded me so far. This one feels relevant to the serfs. Maybe this one. I doubt that. Yeah, I don't have. Two of them how it was invaded. One maybe? Okay, so one of them's wrong. Cognivore. One doesn't mention the cognivore. This one? Cognivore? Ah, here we go. Thoughts. You mean to tell me the invader, cognivore, entered Auridia by thoughts? I cannot say I really understand, but that is no matter. I will document it just the same. Marvelous. Your work is so prolific, I ought to let you run a department. Yes, why don't we make you my deputy director of fieldwork? Don't worry, I'll still be involved in an advisory role. And director, here's another icon. Call it your research grant. You have received the acquisition icon. Alright, the resilient icon, when active, slowly regenerates stamina while airborne. Ooh, okay. The acquisition icon, while active, reveal all items on the map of any visited region. Well, I mean, we gotta check that out. We can equip 2 more, so acquisition. And you know what? Let's go for the airborne. You gaze at the charcoal symbols, your eyes relax, their focus, and patterns emerge. Patterns within patterns within patterns, referencing each other in beautiful harmony. You hear the patterns, you feel them crawl through your thoughts, organizing them. Time passes. You stir from your reverie. As awareness returns, you realize you were dreaming, although you forgot precisely what you were dreaming about. But something lingers. You are different now. Alright. Let's check it out. How does this work? Or finding stuff. It sure seems like it's not doing anything. So items is the little circle thingy. Okay, so there's definitely one there. Let's go check that out. Probably just a fake wall, I assume. Iron. Branding irons like this one were common among Auridian nobles. They used them to mark their serfs. After Thales made first contact with the deity, he found a different use for the instrument. Alright. Honestly, we've done, I feel like, a really good job. So there's one there. You have any that are conveniently closer? Doesn't really seem like it. So we go right. Then so... Straight down, huh? I think I even see where I need to... Oh, interesting. Cool, alright. Child's Shell. Relic Hunter, collect every artifact in Auridia. Shell of an Auridian serf, it barely reaches your knee. Auridians remove the shells of their serfs at a young age. Made their serfs easier to identify, easier to bind, and easier to discipline. That's horrific. Does that mean that, like, our acquisition one, there's only, like, 2 things that we hadn't already found? We were apparently much more thorough than I thought we were going to be. Oh, no. Alright, I can finally give you the dang serfs one, which has been lingering for forever. What ugly stories these tell. We got co-author, complete all research topics for Snorri. What ugly stories these tell. I should have known there's a less savory side to all this magnificence. With this, I do believe my research, no, our research is done at last. Make no mistake, this book is just as much your work as it is mine. I'll name you as my co-author. I'm afraid that, given our present circumstances, I cannot give you an advance on the book's revenue. But here, the very last icon I found, and easily the most complex. I swear as I copied it, new parts of the pattern kept emergent. You have received the erudite icon. Now that the book's research is done, all that remains is the messy business of writing it. You just leave that to me. But I'm afraid we are now faced with quite a different predicament. With the violet blight everywhere, I'm not sure how I'll be able to find a way off the ruin, let alone home to write. The good news is, I possess a great deal of focus, if I do say so myself. I will do my best to work on my writing in spite of everything. Let me know if you discover how to chase off the blight. But look at me doing all the talking. Your turn to say something. I found something to help with your research. Why, I believe there's nothing left to help with. I have all the research I need for my book. Now I just need to return to the surface so I can publish. Alright, erudite icon. When active, reveal all shrines on the map of any visited region. I'm curious what that means. Ah, okay. One there that we somehow missed. And one there. And one there. Oh, also one there. Gosh, we actually have missed a fair number of shrines. Goodness me. I'm not sure the best way to get to that. Actually, I am sure the best way to get to that. It's just literally fly. I'll take that. Alright, so it's 12 of us over here. fair enough. Where did I know this symbol from? I mean, it's probably in a bunch of shit, but... It is kind of funny the way that the abilities in this game sort of take over from each other. Once I got that power, that took over from grappling hook in a big way, and once I had flight, you know, that took over from this power a fair bit. Alright, so that's that done. That whole the sealed approach finished. It looks to my eyes like Aramis the Molten Capital is finished. It looks like my Auridia is finished. It looks like the Concealed Fortress is finished. There is a little spot down here in Chiron's Mines. We'll go check that out next, I think. It might get a little complicated, actually, because of stuff being gunked up. That might be easier all the way around, honestly. I get why, like, narratively, the game can't have me cleaning up the gunk too much, but I do kind of wish that clean up the gunk a little. Alright, so down. Thread the needle. As far as I'm seeing, that's it for this area. Long tentacle. Alright, travel to Alepolis. I see it. Alright, that's the Alepolis done. Sophia's prison. Gotten shittier here. And those two up there. got a better view, or a closer view, I should say, of the big guys that are the antlered. That is everything for this one. Cool. So it's pretty much just going into Stone Warren now. I imagine that that's gonna turn into its own thing. I could easily be wrong. Let's see. Back to there. So I want to get down into this. But, you know what? I'm going to do that in the next episode. YouTube, you guys very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!